You guys seem to really enjoy the first video, so let's keep going, I guess. Yes, the editing and voice recording is an absolute nightmare, but I've been having fun so far, so there is no reason to stop. Let's go. So, I started day 4 by buying a crap ton of ammo for my gun. I had a lot of fighting planned today and didn't have enough yet to craft it by myself. I then checked the perk artifacts I got so far, because some of them can be very good, but I didn't see anything that could be useful. All the ones I got were like a bit too niche. I checked my rep on my way to garbage and was pleased to see that I was making good progress. Traders will have better gear for me and I should be able to hire some companions soon. I started by doing Butcher's daily hunting mission. I was probably still sleepy because I missed a lot of my shots and this S.T.A.L.K.E.R gave me a pretty hard time. Ooh, another hand. Nice. I realized that I should have enough S.T.A.L.K.E.R hands for Hip's mission now. I managed to gather them much faster than I expected, which was nice. I got my reward and started moving towards Gordon. I still didn't have a good detector, making artifact hunting worth it, but I could pick the perks artifacts lying around. I was doing my missions pretty easily, getting loot and extra experience. With the S.T.A.L.K.E.R I found, I even had access to free healing now. It's still a very dangerous artifact to use, as it can mind control you to do crazy stuff. That's why I'm removing my gun from my hands, and as soon as you hear weird sound, you should remove it from your belt immediately, but it's still a very useful artifact to save some money on medicine early game. Just don't use it if you play Iron Man. I completed my missions, picked up the stash with the secret documents that had another set of tools in it, and went to see Hip. Oh, come on, what's happening? Just talk to me. She wouldn't talk to me for some reason. I thought I had enough S.T.A.L.K.E.R hands for her, but apparently not, so we did the trip down here for nothing. I guess I celebrated too quickly. We still had some work to do then. I picked up everything I could find lying around on my way back, and gave the set of tools I just found to Xenotech. I had plenty more at base, so it was pretty much free money and free rep. There were 2 stashes easy to get in wild territory, so I went to pick them up. I got an AK in pretty good condition, and with the shotgun I got on a bandit earlier, these 2 could be potential repairs later. I went back to Rostock and tried to lure the dogs into the duty guards to save on some ammo, and got punished by friendly fire for being cheap. I gave back all my missions, and then I went to see the doc, because I was in a pretty rough state, and getting healed by him is pretty cheap. At the technician, I bought all the recipes that looked interesting, even the ones I knew I was far from being able to craft. I would have to buy them at some point anyway, so now was as good as any other time. I bought some hammers too, as they're cheap and give you the components to craft furniture when you disassemble them. I learned all the recipes and went to check if I could craft some useful stuff. I crafted a bear detector and an extra box. I was expecting to be able to craft much more, to be fair, so it was a bit disappointing. I guess we had a lot more grinding to do. I picked up some easy missions and we were back on the road. I spent the next couple hours delivering packages, finding stashes, and cleaning the zone of pesky mutants and bandits. I needed better gear to start going to more dangerous areas, so the grind had truly started. My Psi helmet was ready, even though I didn't really need it yet. I picked it up because I was in the area. And then I found the juicy body of a dead scientist. Oh, you're not looted. Nice. While I was healing at a campfire in Agroprom, I realized I had enough rep now to hire some companions. These guys were not the most experienced, but they'll still be useful. I'm not asking for much, but what about doing something, guys?
Смена магазина!
Okay, that's a bit better. I was starting to enjoy having a couple companions with me. The zone definitely feels much safer when you're not alone. And they make very good extra backpacks. It was now late afternoon and I still had literally a laundry list of small side quests to do, so I tried to complete them as fast as I could before night. I was rushing a bit against the sun, so I was being a bit careless, costing me a lot of ammo and medicine, but I didn't want to be out at night. Sun was getting low, mutants were everywhere, but I managed to give back most of my missions, and I made it back to Rostock just as the night arrived. I got my rewards for my missions, had some drinks by the fire, and then went to bed. I started day 5 with an energy drink, and then I opened the package I found on the Dead Scientist the day before. It gave me a lot of expensive Hydroshock ammo that I was using for my gun, which was perfect. We were off to a good start. I sold all my damaged parts to the mechanic, and then I bought some items I was missing to craft a repair kit to repair one of my shotguns. With what I already had, it was much cheaper to craft it than buy it from the technician directly. I compared my different options, but I decided to go with the trusty toes, as always. Yeah, I should be able to repair this. I repaired the parts that I could, then checked the technician if he was selling the barrel and hammer I was missing. Unfortunately, he had nothing. I then decided to use my only use of my repair kit to replace the barrel. At least I would have a functioning gun, and I'll try to fix the hammer later. I went to Barkeep to sell some of my PDAs, always remove the batteries from them before selling. And now the grinding starts. I spent the day enjoying my new shotgun and doing pretty much every single easy mission I could find in the area. I was getting cocky and tried to kill a lurker with some style while jumping mid-air, but an anomaly stole my kill. Shame. I got a double kill with a single shotgun shot. Which I think is the first time it happened to me. Nice. I was getting a ton of loot. We'll see if it's useful to craft some stuff, but it was mostly useless junk. I rushed some bandits with my knife while they were reloading, as usual. And overall, I played very careless, like someone who had an unlimited amount of medicine, which was definitely not the case. But, I mean, not playing Iron Man for once is very nice. And I kept doing a ton of little missions that I'm not gonna show. I was getting some dog meat in my stash to complete a mission for Butcher, and I realized I had 2 extra Snork hands with me. I didn't really pay attention because I didn't kill any new Snorks recently, but I probably looted them on bandits I killed. I needed 40 fingers for hip, so with 8 hands, I should finally have enough. I had a package to deliver in Yentar, so I went there and ignored the complete chaos that was happening and just delivered it like a UPS delivery guy in the middle of a police shooting in America. And now, moment of truth. Were my Snork hands enough for hip? Yes, we had the best companion with us now. If things were not easy already, they will only get easier. Like clockwork, I arrived in Rostock while the sun was setting. I had a ton of missions to give back. I got all my rewards, then dumped all the loot I gathered during the day in one of my boxes and started ordering everything while waiting to be asleep. It was the end of day 5 and it had been a very good day. On day 6, I decided it was time to go to army warehouses. There were 2 green stashes waiting for me there, maybe I could find the advanced tools. It's a much riskier area with monolith and mercenary roaming around, and I certainly didn't have the gear to fight them, but I was not planning on staying too long anyway. I arrived in army warehouses, and I was immediately welcomed by a stash with a great armor. I had a good feeling about what was coming next. Hip was already hunting bandits for me too. Look at her going, Jesus. She was already proving to be very well worth the trouble to get her. Bloodsucker village was of course full of bloodsuckers. But in the middle of the day, with a couple friends, they're definitely less threatening. Okay, time to check the stashes. The first green stash had another very good armor and med crafting tools. The second one was a little bit disappointing, and I got a ton of radiation on top of it. There was still 2 white stashes for me to check, so let's cross fingers. Yeah, bummer. Both of them were very disappointing. I was not planning on sticking around, so I went back to Rostock to drop all my loot and decide what to do next. I gave one of the med crafting kit to the doc for easy money, and then I went to do a couple easy missions. A blunt and a radio to listen to some music, this is the chillest mutant ever. I had my new detector, so I decided to look a little bit for artifacts, but without any decent protection, radiation was kicking my ass, so I dropped the ID very quickly. And while looting stashes, I got the Vigilante Recycler achievement, which is very fitting for a loot goblin like myself. 3 extra parts, what's not to love? I felt very generous and decided to spare a medkit to help a fellow loner.
Мужик, спасибо тебе огромное.
Well, technically, I'm the one who shot him because I thought he was a bandit, so I was kinda responsible, but let's not focus on the details too much. I went back to Rostock, gave back a ton of missions for some very good rewards. I was getting rich and my rep was really good too. Time to start doing some serious stuff. I repaired my guns, crafted some ammo, crafted a headlamp that I upgraded immediately to NVGs. It was time to go to Agroprom Underground. I took some time around the fire, thinking about what was waiting for me down there, and then I went for it.
Banderol!
Getting rid of the bandits on the first level was actually pretty easy with the couple grenades I saved for the occasion. And I actually got some pretty good loot out of them. Nothing I could repair yet, but nice finds nonetheless. I then gave shotguns to my boys before going deeper.
На, блядь! Держи глаза в цели! Меняю магазин.
I got rid of the mutants blocking the way straight away. I guess playing very aggressive paid off. I picked up the documents for my quest and I got the hell out of there. I was not planning on exploring every nook and crannies of the place, I just left by the way I came from. I picked up a couple stashes that were on my way back to Rostock, but they didn't have anything really interesting. I gave back the documents I found in the underground to Barkeep to progress the questline. And then I dropped all my loot in my stash. It was time to do some housekeeping. I checked what time it was, and it was too late to go on missions now, but I decided to check if people needed some mutant parts in the area. It's a great way to make easy money, rep, and get a lot of stash coordinates. I finished the evening of day 6 by ordering all my loot and disassembling everything not needed for extra parts. And then I went to bed happy that we progressed a little bit the main questline today. I started day 7 with 268k rubles and 111 tasks completed. Today we were gonna grind hard, even harder than before. I already had a plan for today, but first I wanted to check the stashes I had in Dark Valley, because it might change our plans if we get lucky with the loot. Unfortunately, all the stashes, including the 2 green ones, didn't have the advanced tools I needed. They were not bad, but not just really what I was looking for. I then spent the day grinding all the missions I could find, absolutely everything. The goal was to make as much money and get as many stash coordinates as possible. I wasn't picky, I did absolutely everything. The missions I like, the mission I don't like, just give me money. And after a couple hours of pretty intense grinding, I went back to Rostock. This day went very fast and I finished it with a ton of loot and 387k rubles and 160 tasks completed, which is, that was pretty productive. It has been a very busy day. Actually, I wasn't sleepy and I didn't want to drink a ton of vodkas waiting around the fire like the other nights, so I decided to go on a night hunt mission. I would never, ever do anything like this if I was playing Iron Man, but it was the opportunity to do missions I don't do often. And look how beautiful the night is. And of course it started raining. Great, talk about moody. Well, the playstyle in Truck Cemetery is the same day or night. Just get on top of trucks to be safe and shoot from there. And ideally, do not get too much radiation. That's pretty much it.
Смена магазина! Бандероль!
Okay, I was expecting the worst, and that was actually much easier than expected. I picked up the mission I had on the way back, and this time I went to bed for real. I decided to start day 8 with a small experiment. I picked low and high tier mutant meat and various mutant parts, from basic ones to rare ones, and I went to check the prices at the traders, the prices they would buy them from me. I was pretty sure that Butcher was offering the best prices for everything as usual, but it was a big new update I was playing, so I just wanted to be sure. And after visiting Sakharov in Yentar and Librarian at the Clear Sky base and writing down everything, yep, meat or parts, Butcher still gives the best prices for everything. So I picked all my mutant meats and parts and did a last round of missions for every Stalker that was looking for something in Rostock. I was capped in rep with duty and loaners now anyway, so there was no real need to do more of these missions anymore. I then went to Butcher and sold him absolutely everything for a good chunk of money. And now for part 2 of the plan. I went to Sidorovich and started using all the money I made so far to buy stash coordinates from him, because stashes are the only way to get the better tools to upgrade my gear. I bought 10 stash coordinates to get started, and then I checked this gamma stash drop table. I wanted to check that the location where I was getting the stashes were actually good places with a good drop rate to have a chance to have the advanced tools. And it was the case, we were good, so I just spent all my money. And if you ever wondered what spending 600k in stash coordinate looks like, well, it looks like this. I still kept 50k for me, just in case I needed to buy something, but overall money is not super important in Gamma. You can craft pretty much everything you need, so it's better to spend it. I was actually pretty excited, I never did that before. Okay, I guess it's time to open some stashes. I quickly went back to Rostock, dropped all my loot, and crafted a new box. That's gonna be my stash loot box, where we're gonna put all the loot we find in the stashes, because on top of hoping to get the tools I was looking for, I just want to have a rough idea if it's worth it to spend so much money on this. And I decided that I was gonna start with army warehouses, because it's a location with higher chances to get the advanced tools. Okay, crossing fingers, let's get started. Let's see if we threw more than 500,000 rubles away. Oh shit! Already? Jesus. Well, I got the tools I was looking for at the 5th stash. I guess our plan worked pretty well. Well, I guess it's a little bit bittersweet because now we were sitting on hundreds of unopened stashes, so I guess we're gonna keep going a little bit just to make it worth our money. And if I could get at least one extra set of tools so I can give them to the technician, that would actually be perfect. After looting every single stash in army warehouses, I moved to S.T.A.L.K.E.R, another place with good drop rates. And after cleaning up S.T.A.L.K.E.R, I still had some time before the night, so I moved to Agroprom. And the first stash there had another set of tools. Beautiful. I looted everything in Agroprom before nightfall. Back in Rostock, it was time to do some debriefing. I started my quest for Advanced Tool at 52 stashes, and I found a set on stash 57, 86, and 95. So an average of 15 stashes per Advanced Tool set. It's of course not enough data to conclude anything, but it doesn't look that the odds are too bad if you focus on the right areas with the good drop chances. So, if you have a lot of money and you want to speed up your progression, it's actually not that bad of a technique, it's not that crazy to do that. And in terms of loot, I mean, looking at it, it's okay. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing unexpected. I was planning on going artifact hunting, so getting all the ecology suits is very nice. And I got a lot of other nice things, like the 2 medium repair kits. That was 2 great finds. So, is it worth the money I spent? Not sure, but again, money in Gamma is not that important, you cannot buy weapons of armor, so just spend it, you can craft pretty much everything you need. And we're gonna be able to have some very nice upgrades from all of this when we disassemble everything. I started day 9 pretty excited. Today was big makeover day. I sold all my damaged parts to the technician and gave him an advanced set of tools. I then disassembled all the extra junk I had lying around. Let's see what I could craft with the new tools. First thing I wanted was a brand new backpack. I didn't really care for the extra mutant parts that my hunting kit was giving me anymore. And luckily I had everything to craft the best available with advanced tools straight away. We were already a loot goblin, but like we would be able to go extra goblin now. Next step was devices, so a better detector, better NVGs, and a better PDA. Beautiful. Then a couple more boxes to organize my loot. I then crafted an army rifle repair kit, grabbed my historical repair kit, and with both of those in my inventory, it was very easy to identify which weapons I could repair right now. And same thing with armors and the light and medium repair kit. I could put on the side straight away what I was able to repair. In terms of which weapons to repair, it was a no-brainer for me. The AK-105 is a perfect all-rounder, and Petrenko sells its upgrade kit. Then a sniper to start engaging better geared enemies from far away, and a better shotgun for the labs. And I had the money, so I bought the upgrade kit for the AK straight away. And those who watched my previous video, my Invictus run, probably remember that I had a weird bug preventing me to switch scopes with this AK, and here it's working perfectly. Beautiful. In terms of armors, after having a quick look at everything besides the scientific suits, the Sin overcoat was actually pretty stacked and very well balanced. I wasn't planning on doing anything specific yet, so a good all-rounder was my best bet. Okay. Time to repair everything now. I was lucky to have pretty much all the parts I needed already to repair the weapons, so everything went pretty smoothly. And we all know how easy armors are to repair, so there was absolutely no issues there. I then crafted all the ammo I could for my new toys and bought a little bit extra for the AK. I then sold all my extra med crafting kits to the dock, and same thing with my tools for the technician. It was actually pretty good money. And now was time for upgrades. I upgraded everything I could with the kits I already had, which was actually quite a bit already. I then bought the recipes I was missing at the technician to be able to craft upgrade kits, learned them, and crafted all the upgrade kits I could, which was quite a bit again. And then I finished upgrading what I couldn't do myself directly at the technician, but it was so little it barely cost me any money. And in the middle of crafting the upgrade kits for my armors, I got an achievement. It will make the whole process even easier. Nice. And just like that, we had brand new weapons, a full set of new armor, new backpack and new devices. All upgraded to the best I could with the advanced tool I had so far. We were ready to start serious stuff now. I grabbed my ammo, medicine, food, some explosive and headed straight to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. It was time to disable the miracle machine. I then stopped by Butcher to restock on some stuff, just to be safe, and went on my way. I dropped all the extra loot I already picked on the way in a stash. We are gonna run a lot in this run, so better be as light as possible. Okay, let's do this. I already cleaned the place while looting stashes the day before, so going to the lab was pretty quiet. After fighting the tankiest of snorks ever, I healed, took some psi resistance meds and went down. I then did what I like to do in this lab, which is pretty much ignore everybody and run. I know it's not the most entertaining thing, but it's very effective. I then activated all the levers as quick as I could, only killing mutants literally on my way. I try to avoid everybody. I then used the trick to plant an IED where I knew a burrow would spawn when I turned off the machine. The explosion didn't kill him though, but I finished him before passing out. AK, HP rounds, shots to the head. Getting rid of the controller is pretty easy. I looted the place and left. And now my boys were back with me. It was just a matter of slowly cleaning the tunnels on our way out. And now was time to deal with our first big boy. You can avoid the fight completely by running if you want to. Or spend almost no ammo using all the explosive barrels lying around. I like the sound of this AK a lot though, so I just dumped a mag into him. Works well too. And you can see that I left my companions behind for this. I'd rather play it safe because even Hip can get killed by him if she gets stuck, which is very annoying. And just like that, we were done. It was only 1 PM too, so I still had plenty of time to do a lot in this day. Looking at my missions, I decided to go this dumb task I took in the swamps. They were crowding my task list and I wanted to get rid of them. I picked the loot I left before the miracle run and I headed to the swamps.
Готов нахуй!
Wiping the floor with the bandits that gave me so much trouble on my first day in the zone was the best feeling ever. I then did the missions for the scientist, picking up all the stashes on my way because I had a lot in the area. I was looking for artifacts at the same time because, well, everything was taking place in Anomaly, so why not? I didn't come back empty-handed, but I didn't find anything crazy either. I was planning to wait to have at least a Veles detector to seriously start artifact hunting, as this one wouldn't be able to detect the best artifacts anyway. I of course got caught in an emission in the middle of the swamps again, but I managed to make it inside in time. My companions though were lagging behind and I started getting worried. You guys are way too chill about this. Can you hurry up, please? But we all made it in the end. After giving up on trying to find a hidden stash, I got ambushed by very mean doggies. But I survived. I gave back my missions here and healed by the campfire before going back to Rostock. I had plenty of medicine on me to heal faster, but I'm cheap and I was not in a hurry. I made it back to base at night, under the rain, happy to see some friendly faces. I started day number 10 with some military rations for breakfast, a meal as sad as the weather was, and decided it was time to fight the Monolith incursion. A very risky task, but I had a plan. I picked my explosives and the new sniper I recently repaired. I quickly repaired the M4 I had lying around for HIP 2. I didn't need it to be in perfect condition, just functional enough, and I gave it to her. The nerds were fighting a chimera, so I went to help a little bit. Oh, I 100% stole that kill, but that's free loot, right? It's a snork, not a bloodsucker, but okay, you do your thing, bro. I like to leave my companions here on the hill so we can get a crossfire from both sides, and I always plant some explosive charges where the monolith spawns. And now it's just a matter of waiting, looking at my companion's health. I will only intervene if they need help. Turn out they didn't need my help to finish them, especially with the couple Freedom Soldiers that spawned two at the same time. Mission done, without firing a single bullet. And now time to get some sweet loot. I gave back the mission. Next stop was supposed to be the Brand Scorcher, but there's no way we were doing this anytime soon. Let's quickly go back to Rostock and drop our loot. I picked up all my mutant parts and meat and other items Stalker are always looking for and went back to the army warehouses. I then spent a good chunk of the day doing countless missions for freedom, hoping to have a lot of stashes in the north. I went to tickle a bit the mercenaries to see how effective my weapons were against them and how much damage I was taking. It didn't look too bad. Maybe with some morphine we could do something in Dead City. I went back to Rostop again to drop all my loot and realized that Hip was taking really poor care of her weapon. It was getting damaged really fast. I got healed by the dock and decided to do some simple missions to relax a bit, nothing crazy. At the end of the day, I ordered and cleaned up all my loot, which took a good chunk of time, and looked at what we could do tomorrow. We could clean up Wild Territory and get all the stashes there. Maybe plan a big attack on Dead City and the Merc base too. Or simply loot the stashes in Red Forest for a chance for the expert tools. Or just make a push to Jupiter. I wanted to check if I had some upgrades in the loot I had gotten today too. It was the end of day 10 and we still had a ton of exciting things to do. Honestly, this run was just getting started.